morning, everyone. It's Chaz. It's the West Ham Minds channel. It's the West Ham Talking Point show. Hope everyone is good. It's been a while since I've done the show. Been busy doing other things. But yeah, what's been going on since that lovely fuck off Kudus show, eh? Great comments, great interaction. Brilliant views. So thank you, everyone, for that. But yeah, West Ham Talking Point show. Tim Steidten will talk about. Mohamed Kudus will talk about. Edson Alvarez will talk about. And the situation with all three of these very important and very interesting characters to West Ham United. And I was right. I was right about all these three, what I've been saying since the summer, if you've been watching my show. But before we get into it, Saturday I went to the West Ham Ipswich game. Great day. In the morning went to the great sort of pre-match day event, which is kind of more often organised at the Colour Factory in Hackney Wick, on the other side of the ground, by West Ham Way folks, ex-employee Dave Walker. So yeah, met Alan Kirbishley, very interesting, had a good laugh, bit of chat with him, few things signed with him. So yeah, and that's one of the things I love about West Ham, is the history and things like that, because what's been happening on the pitch ain't been all that, has it? But anyway, again, being honest, I'm going to tell you straight off what happened. You know what I'm like. Had a few too many rums, didn't I? Too early I started off out of the traps, didn't I? Because that event started at 11 in the morning and I was well in there, well on the way. So game starts, 1-0 up very quickly, and then 1-1 very quickly. And then just before they scored, I had enough. I was just fuming. I didn't know what we were trying to do. There was certainly no clear-cut pattern to our play. And I didn't know what we were trying to do. It was kind of a nothing game right up till half-time. And I walked out. I said, I'm going to have going to have something to eat before the queues. I've just had enough. I was kind of losing my head a bit. So I missed all the goals, didn't I? I missed the second goal, I missed the third goal, I missed the fourth goal. I was outside, got chatting to a few people and didn't really know what was going on in the game. I heard a few cheers here and there. I just lost interest, and it's just one of those games. And I watched the goals back, spoke to a lot of fans, and they're all saying more or less, yes, we won 4-1. It's absolutely brilliant, but we were still pretty average. Some were saying shit, some were saying average. But look at the league table. We're 12th, 4-5 points below third from bottom, 4-5 away from being in the top 6, top 5. Reasonably hard fixtures, new manager, new way of playing, a lot of new signings. I'll just about take that, because my initial target for Lopetegui was 10th. Then when I saw the amount of players coming in, the amount of money we were spending, then I thought we could nick that last 7th European spot with a bit of cheek. So 7th to 10th is what I'll kind of stick to, and we're 12th. With a lot of more downs than ups with what's gone on with the injury to Fulkrug. Antonia's a relatively poor form. Kudus and Bowen largely been more down than up. Lots of things that are just not going right? A lot of things are not going right. A lot of stories about Tim Steidten. Stories about who's bought what. So I think, considering all that what's gone on, I'll just about take it, right? I'll just about take it, really. So it's not great. It's not terrible. It's kind of in there, isn't it? And let's see what happens. As we know, yeah, we're at the League Cup. FA Cup to look forward to, and see if we can get into Europe, really, and see what this philosophy of Lopetegui brings us in terms of hopefully playing better football. But it's a hard job for him. I'm still in it with him. I think I know what he's trying to do, and there's a lot of good things he's done, I think, and a few things you might not agree with. But we'll get into that bit by bit before I start going there and there. You know what I'm like. Let's do it piece by piece, right? Let's start off with Tim Steidten. Well, I had that again. Yeah, you might call it controversial view, controversial show. It was absolutely the dog's bollocks. It was the fucking truth. Very good friend of mine overheard Tim Steidten in a restaurant that all the players go to saying, "I ain't gonna hang around at West Ham anymore." Right? And you guys, some of you, yeah, you wanted to see the photo, you wanted to see the. I'm not gonna do that. I've got the photo. I'm not. If I have a seat at the ground, I'll show it. I've got the photo. Right, I don't know the name of the restaurant because the guy just said I don't want to talk about it. I could have got the name, but I'm not from the area, so it wouldn't mean anything to me anyway, right? But it is what it is, and now stories are coming out. The club are concerned about all these stories from the media coming, right? I don't know if it's media in Germany, in Europe, more than the UK, but what I'm hearing is that things like, oh, I didn't want Lopetegui, I didn't want Fulcraig's got nothing to do with me, and then he's still walking on the pitch. More often when we win or do well than lose, then you won't see him, right? And I'm getting concerned. I mean, let's get the transfers up, what we did in the summer, just to talk about it. Not that one, I'm like, always put the wrong bloody thing down. Okay, so these are the transfers in the summer, everyone, right? Max Kilman, regular. Lopetegui signing. Very, very good so far. Very, very good. Good lad, stable lad, left-footed. Very good skill to have that. Captain material in the future. Solid. Very good injury-free record. Can't ask for any more than that. Well done, Lopetegui, right? Fulcraig. I'll go to Somerville in a minute. Fulcraig. That's the biggest blatant Tim Steidten signing that there was ever going to be. And the problems with that, like I said, okay, you guys, I don't agree with that model where Steidten's going to sign most of the players. What the fuck is the coach meant to do? The coach wants to play 4-3-3. I told you that right from the beginning. He wants to play the Arsenal 4-3-3, right? But we haven't got the players for it, right? And I did have concerns over Souček, over Alvarez. We'll go into Alvarez in a minute, right? But 4-3-3, he wants to play that. And people like Antonio, Souček's done remarkably well. More due to his hard work, his commitment. Don't really. You wouldn't normally be in a Lopetegui or an Arsenal or highly technical, possession-based, good passing team, but he's one of those weird things. He's kind of in there. He's on there with his endeavour and effort. He's in there, right? But Alvarez certainly wouldn't be in there. He's not good at ball possession. He's not good at passing. He's not comfortable with possession. He's very, very slow. He's the old traditional CDMs we used to see 10, 15, 20 years ago. He will not fit into not a lot of those top 5, top 6 teams, I'm afraid. And that's the issue we're getting at the moment. We'll come into a bit more. So Fulcraig is a total... Antonio Fulcraig will not fit into Lopetegui's, what he wants to do at West Ham, right? Guilherme, another fucking Tim Steidten signing because he went to fucking Brazil. He had to bring someone back. It's a fucking joke, right? But hopefully he's got pace. He's good at either side of the wing. Let's see what he can do. But a club like West Ham, 27 million Fulcraig, 23, that's what, 15 million there. Not good when you really can't reuse these players at the moment, or they're not quite the right fit. Wan-Bissaka, I think it's a bit of both. I think they're both happy with that. We got Ben Johnson out the door. You can tell what a big upgrade at Wan-Bissaka is. Ben Johnson, if you didn't know, does not get into the Ipswich's team. It was very rare they played him against West Ham for obvious reasons, thinking he'll be up for it. He's fucking shit as ever, right? So forget about him. Rodriguez, he's in the team. We'll look at the formation Ipswich in a minute. He's too slow again, but maybe because he hasn't got used to the pace of it. I don't know, but I've got my reservations. Free transfer, so maybe you can let that one go. Foderingham is just third choice. Todibo, maybe slightly more Tim Steidten, to be fair, than Lopetegui, but he's showing again why Juventus, Man United were looking at him, and he looks like he's going to be a good signing in terms of very, very comfortable with the ball at his feet, good bit of pace, technically very, very high, and if you ever wanted to play 3 at the back or a sweep or anything, he can do all of those, and he's a good age. Hopefully doesn't get injured too often. So good pairing in the making there. Carlos Soler, bit of up and down against Liverpool, but I expect Soler to be more in the team with Lopetegui's thinking than Rodriguez and Alvarez. So maybe he's giving Soler even more time, but I'm pretty surprised how Rodriguez is in there. ahead of Soler, but we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So you can already see that Tim Steidten, whenever he's gone in there and tried to buy players on his own accord, it ain't fucking gone down too well. So I was right, Tim Steidten. There is stories brewing. The board are very concerned with Tim Steidten, and I think next year he won't be at the club, if any sooner. He's not going to be at the club, I don't think. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see how the relationship between Sullivan, Steidten, and Lopetegui plays out. But so far in the transfer window, there are concerns over a lot of the deals that he's helped to get over the line. It doesn't suit the player, the manager, doesn't suit the tactics, doesn't suit West Ham United. Certainly age-wise, a lot of these signings doesn't suit. So let's see what happens. So Lopetegui wants to do 4-3-3. So the good news, I think at last the back four, that is the back four you're going to get this season till we have more money next summer. But already next summer, we probably need a younger equivalent of Emerson. Need that fourth choice centre back in there if one of the youth players isn't quite up to it, or maybe the manager doesn't think they're good enough to be the fourth choice. Obviously we got a couple of people on loan in that position. Don't know what's happening with fucking forgotten. The two bloody ones in Middle East, didn't he? I've forgotten all their names. I'm losing the plot. But you know who they are, right? The Moroccan lad and the guy from France, yeah. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, that's the back four you're going to get. Concerns if Emerson gets injured. But Wan-Bissaka can cover left back, right back. Yeah, we got cover in terms of Creswell and Kufal, but they're not really that good, are they, if you're really going for the top six positions? But there's only limited amount you can do, right? So that's going to be your back four. And we've freshened it up. There's more pace in there. The average age has dropped because you've got Kilman, Todibo, Bissaka in their largely kind of late 20s, you know, so that's better than what we had before. Emerson is old. Areola's a concern, and watch my shows in the summer. I'm not making fucking shit up. I had concerns over Areola from the beginning. I was sitting on the fence with him saying, I am not sure about him. I need to see more. His shot stopping is no doubt brilliant, but his distribution, his communication is fucking all over the place. And one or two interesting names, just think about them in the future. Ramsdale, if Southampton go down. Pickford, if Everton go down. I wouldn't mind either of those two on Areola. I think it'd be a slight upgrade. So keep an eye on it. Areola is still a concern. Rodriguez, you can see he's already got the worst rating out of all of them there. I think he's slow. I need to watch the game a bit more in the coming games and see, does he really, really play that role really well? Is he really, really better than Alvarez, even though Alvarez got a lot of concerns? I think the concerns with Alvarez, when we go into a bit more above other things, apart from pace, is the fucking yellow cards. They're fucking concerning. I mean, I'll put up the stats in a minute. I think since he joined West Ham, certainly in the league, he's got about 13 yellow cards. Again, I didn't have time to compare him with any other player that plays like that. But for me, it's always a concern with David Moyes. It's a concern with Lopetegui, and I think he got sent off at Liverpool already. It's fucking joke. It's jokes. Souček, listen, claps to Souček. Hats off to Souček. Prove me wrong. What a great servant he's been for West Ham United. One of those guys you want with you going into battle. And he's fought his way into this formation. In the summer, the manager was thinking of letting him go. Then he watched him in a pre-season and said, listen, he's got something about him. You know, he can get the odd goal. He's a pain in the arse in the opposition penalty box. He can put his foot in, although I've always never been that fond of his defensive side. He's certainly always fit, always strong, good stamina, always running around. But in terms of what is he actually doing? Is he breaking up plays? Is he making tackles? Is he starting up with great passes left, right, short? No, he doesn't do any of that. But he's always there in terms of a man and number, and he gets the useful goal, and he can get the odd useful block in and that kind of thing. And he's a good lad across the dressing room. He's a great servant. He loves the club. I'm sure the players love him. So again, some of those things count for a lot more than what I've just said, but it's up to the manager, and I think he deserves his place. That's a very, very good, very respectable rating of 7. Paqueta, 8. He still ain't there in terms of his high standards. He got a goal. That court case is going to be heard in March, I think. So hopefully that's going to be made concrete. So in his mind, at least he knows now, okay, don't worry about it till March, and then let's put your head down. So Paqueta again has got to play a bit more. Kudus, going at the Kudus, he got a goal, great leap. He missed a blatant opener before that. We'll go into his stats in a minute. Kudus for me can still do a lot more. Paqueta for me can still do a lot more. Bowen will get better. So it's just that we've had such an up and down start. Hopefully now the fixtures I told you they're not going to get any easier, but maybe we're just getting used to each other and the manager a bit more, and we'll improve. Like I said, we're sitting, when there's the Grand National, the horse race, the favourites, you should never be up front in terms of a favourite. Maybe it's not a good like for like, what I'm talking about. They're in the pack. We're in the pack, aren't we? We're not right at the back. We're not right at the front. We're kind of settling in the pack, finding our way, and still very early days, 7-8 games gone, whatever. So it could be a bit better, could be a lot worse. So I want everyone to enjoy their couple of weeks off West Ham international break. Don't think about West Ham and come back raring. And hopefully even more training sessions with the lads not going away, including Bowen. And we'll be even more better. And we're playing Tottenham away, I think, lunchtime. So they've got enough problems, Spurs. So hopefully it should be a fairly equal game, really. Antonio got the goal. But that's the thing, isn't it? Antonio gets a goal, been shit largely for 2 years, and we start getting sentimental again. You've got to face the hard facts. He's been shit overall for 2 years, for a long time, but it's our fault. We still don't replace him, and then at least he's there to play and do whatever. Fulkrug should be back. I think Fulkrug should be back soon, hopefully after the break, and we'll see how that goes. So 4-3-3 is what I think Lopetigui's trying to do, but he can't. He needs technically gifted fast wingers in those three and three up front. So players who can play 4-3-3. Paqueta should be able to. Kudus should be able to. Bowen should be able to. Back four is back four. The problems we're going to have is what we're going to do with Rodriguez, Souček, and Antonio in the long term, really. I mean, I like to think Soler's got the technical and passing ability to be one of those three in the midfield. And then we need to find a new striker. So there's 2-3 players we still need to kind of get them into the club, really, which is always gonna be the thing, wasn't it? You naughty people. Here's a substitution. So Carlos Soler did come on, 6.7, got 20 minutes. Alvarez got 7, came in for Rodriguez. Cressy came on. Somerville got a few minutes, and Guillermo came on, but not sufficient to say 20 minutes. Can't say this, can't say that. Yeah, didn't really do anything wrong, didn't do anything right, really. Right, this is Alvarez's stats, Premier League only. I'm not going to Europa or anything like that. 36 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 13 yellow cards. I know he got a red, but that was a League Cup. I'm not counting that. That ain't fucking good enough, right? And he's too slow, and I think it's going to be time for him to do walkies. This is Kudus' Premier League record, everyone. 40 games, 9 goals, 6 assists, 6 yellows. Bloody hell, mate. So, see, make what you have of that. I think that's really, really good. But a lot of that was last season. So he's been very slow this season. And I was right in terms of Lopetegui had a go at him last week, and it's fucking kind of worked, right? It's Tim Steidten. I'm fucking right on Tim Steidten because he's going to fuck off out the club within a year. Watch. And already the board are concerned. They're going to have words with him soon, right? So I didn't make that shit up. Kudus, he was in a fucking strop. Whether he's playing the right position or not is a different argument, but he's got to have a bit more about him, right? And I think Lopetegui was right to have a go at a few of the players. And altogether, when they've come out of that, they've come out for the better of it. You remember the Fergie fucking throwing teacups, breaking fucking Beckham's cheeks. Listen, I ain't comparing Lopetegui to fucking Fergie, yeah? But all I'm saying is, I think it's kind of works saying we can't fuck about with the boss. He's going to fucking drop everyone who fucks around, right? I like it. It's come back, right? Alvarez, right? I was right about that because he's too slow. He ain't going to fit into Lopetegui, and he's got too many yellow cards. There's rumours of swapping in with Hudson. Is it Odoi, is there, or something? What's his name? What's that boy at Juve? I fucking forgot his name. There's a CDM at AC Milan. There's a CDM at AC Milan from Chelsea who went there. So we'll see what happens. But he's not a Lopetegui player. You got to understand that. Whether he's a good player, he's a good tackler, of course he is. But he does not fit the West Ham model going forward, and nor will he ever get a place in any of those top 6 teams, top 5, top. I'm telling you, right? Those are the facts. Fucking accept them, right? Whether you love him, you got soft spot for him. You love it when he kills a guy with a shove. You know, he does go in the fucking kneecaps. We love all that at West Ham, but wake up. Going forward, technically, he's the wrong player for us. Moyes is obviously playing very, very slow football, very defensive football, non-possession based football. He's all right in that, but he ain't the right one going forward, and we can get some money for him, so he's going to be favourite to chip. Do you know what I mean? Kudus will probably go because he fucking wants to go anyway. He uses a stepping stone. That's fine. Fuck off. That's again face the facts. There's no need to fucking become brothers with him, fucking love him, bring him home for dinner. It's a hardcore. He's one of those, right? Paqueta, as soon as that court case in March goes either way, he's going to fuck off as well. But get positive. Kudus goes, Alvarez goes, Paqueta goes. We're looking at a really good. We're looking at 150 million plus next summer. That's the way I look at it. I love my club more than any player, and I'll back the manager probably more than a player as well. That's the way I look at it. I look at 200 million coming in. Whoa, bring it on, and let's get that striker in. Get those technically gifted, those Ruben Neves, Matinho, the Wolves, you know, the ones I'm always on about. Get those players in there. Freshen up the left back. Get another classy centre back in, and get a better goalkeeper in, and we're looking exciting. That's the way I look at it, right? While Kudus is here, yeah, I'll enjoy it, but I'm fucking going to say it the way it is. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is. Right? So that's the kind of things I wanted to talk about. Put your comments in, in the comments field, and I will reply, really, and I will, do a show next couple of days as and when things break, really. So I think that's about it. Just to summarise, I think Steidten's going to be gone within the year. I think Kudus and Paqueta will be gone in the summer. Alvarez is going to be sold. Don't worry about it. Come on.